like. But hi, you can see us, and hopefully more than that, you can hear us well. The audio should be good. So that's
right.
That's
All right. There we go.
Backup camera, which is not my favorite, but I'm going to have to get over myself. That's the step I'm on, is get over it.
It's all good.
But anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, Blue Papillon Sim Racing. Hi from the Philippines. Hello. Thank you for writing, or thank you for watching. Really appreciate it.
That's very cool. All right. We're going to get serious now. We're going to actually have a podcast. Nothing is quite as fun as technology that doesn't work like you want, but it's okay.
Hey, we're there.
Okay. So
we're forcing it to work.
This is our live podcast. So thank you for 1,025. I cannot believe that.
Man, we're rocking through them. It's pretty cool.
I'm going to tell you some behind the scenes stuff real quick. We are working with Hooked on Driving to do another CODA event. And I'm way out over my skis to say this, but we might even do another podcast from CODA. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of steps.
There's a lot that needs to happen, but yes.
But that is something that we're talking about. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to possibly doing that. If you are interested in getting on track with us at Hooked on Driving, all schedules went out today. And there's discounts available for 2026.
That's right.
So it has literally gotten real as of this morning. So we're very excited for you guys to know about all of the stuff that's going on. Also, these aren't posted yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do the house cleaning. We've got special trips happening. There is Spain and Portugal that is happening in late April. We're going to do 2 domestic trips, one in probably the California Monterey area that is being worked on. Another one that will be our fantastic Utah meetup, Best Roads in Utah. You want to come to that one. That'll probably be September-ish. We got to figure all this out. Yep. And then we are doing pilgrimage, which is the ring and spa. This year will probably be a couple days on spa and a day on the ring. Lots of little tweaks we're doing to all these trips to make them even better. That ring and spa trip will probably be August. Don't quote me on any of these, but that's where we're headed. And we're going to get those published so you guys can start registering as soon as possible. But I think legitimately, by the time we all get it up on its feet, it'll probably be early January.
Maybe we've got it's just amazing how many things still come together at the last minute with schedules and tracks and dates, and there's still horse trading. So thanks for rolling with us. Thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. And we've got tons of questions already, so we're jumping right in. Thank you so much. We've got a few, I think, online. But thank you for being with us on the live stream. Pretty fun.
Very cool.
We really enjoy this and all the car questions. There's been a lot of news about Ford, about Porsche in the news, switching their entire
Everybody's pivoting. The pivot continues.
Ford's doing a $19.5 billion pivot. They're doing a write-down, apparently.
Why kind of pivot when you can really
savings.
Pivot? Yeah, that's going to be great.
It's fun to catch up on the news. So thank you guys for writing. Let's jump right in. What do you got?
Let's see. Never did a track day, but sounds like a great time. It is a great time. We just got back from Thunderhill, and we'd never done the Thunderhill 5 mile. Thunderhill has 2 sides. The eastern side is the 3 mile that most people do. The western side is a more technical 2 mile, and they link them. 3 + 2 = 5. They link them, and it's a fantastic way to run that track. I can't wait to go back and do that. That was really cool. I got to borrow a Cayman while you were borrowing a Camaro.
So in the $12,000 sports car, fun car piece, you might have noticed that I wasn't super thrilled about that particular Camaro, and the Camaro itself, it wasn't the best example, and we've all acknowledged
Sure.
that. Okay?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't kind to it, and there are a lot of clips, we'll say, that didn't even make the final edit because Todd thought I was being even too harsh, and he's like, yeah, you can't say that. That's not going in.
A little much, yeah.
So I went too far, but that's okay. And so one of our head coaches in NorCal, saw the piece, and he has a 4-cylinder Camaro. He also has told us the story about how Randy Popst has bought a 4-cylinder Camaro, regrets selling it during the COVID era, and has really liked it. And it is
shout out to Rob.
Rob, hello.
Yeah.
He's got his Camaro down to about 3,200 pounds. He said dry weight 3,250 somewhere with passenger, with a half tank of gas, minimal gas. And he's done a lot of work to the suspension. He's running 18-inch wheels, and it looks really aggressive. So it sort of looks like almost a ZL1. He's got ZL1 brakes on it. Okay. And so he challenged me to drive his car. It's sort of like, if you don't like my car, all right, I'm going to force you to drive it. And so he did. And I was game. And you know what? It is the lightest Camaro that I have driven. It is the lightest feeling. Usually Camaros do feel quite heavy the more power you go. And the ZL1, as awesome a car as it is, as huge and powerful, as amazing as it is very fast, but it also, you feel that on track, especially what you're talking about, the more nimble and
Mhm.
technical part on the 2 mile of West Track at Thunderhill. So it is it was a different experience, and I do acknowledge that it was fun and pretty cool. So thank you, Rob, for
Good,
letting me drive your
good.
car, for letting me take your Camaro out, and it was pretty cool. So I think Rob liked seeing his car out on track
He
because he
did.
was
He took a
every
bunch
time
of
I came
photos. He
by
took a bunch
the
of
flag
photos.
stand, he had his
Yeah.
phone out. It was pretty funny. So anyway, so yes, the Camaro existed, and well, yeah, drove that, and you were in the Cayman. So
Jorge's asking, he says he saw Jordan's car. Actually, we just covered it on the test
yeah,
drive channel. So it's
yeah.
an NC Miata with a lot of flying Miata adaptations to it, tuning to it. He said that got him thinking, what other models seem like the manufacturer gave you a starting place but are begging for mods? I'm going to say it again. Don't just buy a car because you're going to mod it. You always say it really well, and that is, what do you want the car to do that it doesn't? What are you modding toward? Because the
Here's
number
the
of people,
catalog.
well, but
I think I'll buy all
the
the
number of
stuff.
people at any Cars and
Uh,
Coffee who will tell you everything you're supposed to do to your car, because
yeah,
every
yeah,
car has a list online somewhere, but it comes down to, what do you want it to do? And the reason that we talk about tuning out of class and not liking that is you're trying to make a big heavy car handle like a small light car. Well, that's not going to. So what are you trying to get it to do?
yeah.
The obvious one here is the 86. The 86 is a bit of a starter platform. You can modify it. The WRX always has been. The Evo was. I mean, these were the cars that people liked. But the problem is, the reason that I avoid it most of the time is because things have a tendency to work best when you leave them alone. The manufacturer did R&D at a level that I'm not going to get done. And if you tune
It
them,
does
they have a
exist.
tendency, sometimes not, but they have a tendency to break more often. And then you go, well, this thing never runs, and now it's unreliable. And yeah, what all did you do to it? So I'm always very cautious. But those, yeah, all of the enthusiast starter pack cars, if you want to think about it that way, the Miata, the 86 are the obvious ones. The MR2, when it existed, was a cool one. A lot of those starter cars, but I'm just always worried about making something high strung and unreliable when doing that.
Yep. Our friend Richard on here, our Diamond 655, asks what car we've driven has such a strong personality that it made you drive it differently than you wanted, either more
Hmm.
relaxed or more aggressively. EVs do that to me
Okay. All right. Yeah.
simply because of the power. You discover it and dip into the power and go, oh,
Yeah.
well, I got to try this everywhere I go.
Mm.
And all the Hellcat powered everythings.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Usually pickup trucks make me drive differently than I'm
You do drive like a big pickup driver. We've had a pickup for
I
about a
don't
day,
like
and
that
about
about
a day
myself.
in, you're suddenly like, you're that guy. I've seen that happen. Yeah.
Don't like that. So, other sports cars that I think pull it out of you, we noticed the E92 M3 when that came out. We were pretty shocked at how much we liked it, even though it
Mm.
was sort of a heavier car and more
Yeah.
of a GT kind of a car. I think we both were pretty impressed by that when it came out. But of course, it's definitely been surpassed in terms of dynamics that we're looking for. And I came away. I told you this after driving that Camaro. You were in the Cayman. I feel like I'm a mid-engine or rear-engine kind of a
Mhm.
driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just I feel that. So when I've got a lot of weight and hood and car in front of me,
Sure.
it doesn't resonate as much with me.
Mm.
But I mean, I want to get over that and get past that just as a driver personally.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do love the mid-engine, wearing that weight back here.
I have two actually for you, Richard, because I think they're all out of the exact same chute. We went and did the PCH in those kit cars, those build cars. We had essentially a 356 replica, and we had a Daytona replica. And both of those cars demanded that you adapt to what they were. You couldn't come in as whatever kind of
Mhm.
driver you are.
Mhm.
The 356 was just easy. Just go easy. Everything is small and light and not to be rushed, and just for the experience, and smell the sea air and go slowly and move slowly and push things slowly, and you had to, for it to feel comfortable, for it to actually be a car that worked with you. You had to be very light and to be in no hurry and to be
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
relaxed and enjoy. And the Daytona was the opposite. From literally from the moment you put the steering wheel on, it was like, if you didn't bring all the muscle, the car isn't listening. And so you
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
drive the Daytona casual, and you couldn't drive the 356 replica aggressively. They did not accept it.
It would buck and choke and lurch,
Yes.
and if you tried to drive smoothly and slowly and creep away, it didn't allow that. It
Yeah,
didn't want
the
you to do that.
Daytona, it
Yeah.
was like, you better be angry because here we go. Yeah,
I've got
those are two for
pipes.
sure. Yeah.
Can I use them? P. Danke says, hi from the horribly flat roads of central Wisconsin. Hello. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it so much.
John's asking, his sister needs a genuine 3-row SUV for carpooling. What do we recommend? Genuinely usable 3rd-row seats, 40K and under. You're going to be shopping used. Look at the Kia Telluride and Hyundai Palisade used, because those have genuinely usable 3rd rows. Now, if you get beyond carpool small kids, they start to be difficult again. If you want like 3 rows and the kids are high schoolers, you've got to be in something like a Suburban. You have to. There's nothing else that has a genuine 3rd row. But if you're talking kids, like elementary school kids, these Tellurides and Palisades are actually really good. And for that budget, you could find one. So I think I would go there.
That's cool. Let's see here. The 1KEA asks for the automotive equivalent of a poor quality 4K remaster of a beloved film. Let's start with the films that are poor quality 4K remasters.
Well,
what have you come across?
You can always tell when it's an old transfer, because I know this is really subtle. If you're watching the credits and the credits are white over black and the credits are swimming, there's just a little bit of this.
Oh,
it's because the
yeah.
reel moving through the telecine, that's what it's called when you transferred film to tape or digital. The reel is bobbling a little bit. And you can see the credits, they move side to side. It's subtle, but it exists. And I'm always like, oh, this is an old, bad transfer. Someone needs to redo this. That's how I feel about that. Yeah.
Based on that, I have a thought for you, and that is the originals are now worse than the remakes because of modern technology and careful build quality that those original cars never enjoyed.
Okay. All right.
A Resto Mod Mustang, all the Resto Mod Porsche anything.
Okay.
We recently saw that Lotus Esprit. Did you see that white Esprit lately?
That looked crazy. Yes.
All the F355 that we saw, Lambos, all these cars, the original cars were kind of like the credits were swimming.
Yeah, that's a great description. I like it. That's really good. I relate. That's good.
But the subsequent Resto Mods, but then the one of ones, of course, are great. But what about cars that have a short production run that ended up actually being better than the originals? So it's almost reversed, I think.
That's good. I really do like that. I'm trying to think of other things here. There were a lot of really good questions. Where was the one I was just talking about? I hear you on Arizona. I do hear you.
Arizona road
at some
trip,
point maybe. But let's see. There was Oh man, there's so many already. It's great. Thank you.
Got a lot of met a lot of people at our recent Thunderhill Day talking about GT86s and GR86s, and we have done our part to sling hash, sell cars. We're pushing the sheet metal. We're doing apparently a good job. So many of you who have bought one just based on many reviews and research. So we really appreciate it. And here's, let's see, RT James, RTJ Sims, excuse me. We are partially responsible for the GR Corolla in his garage right now. Very, very happy with that little car. I went on track with one of our coaches, Craig, who just recently got the automatic GR Corolla, and that thing was great. We were hanging in C group, and he's a very fast, smooth driver, and he was just making that little car sing. It was great. The auto on track. And we've tried it. We like it. Of course, manual is, brings out quite a different character, but the auto is great on that car. So I'm glad you've got it. That is a sweet car. Bring it to a track day.
Bella B asks if we've seen Jason Camisa's 50 years of the 911 Turbo video. Only some of it. I actually started it and then got interrupted. So I've barely started it, and I feel bad about that because I actually like his stuff. How does it compare to our 50 years of 911 piece from years ago? Our 911 piece was more involved. I know that just based on runtime. And I also know our 911 piece was made for a fraction of the budget of one of his pieces. He is benefited by Haggerty spends money on his pieces, and they're awesome. He and Anthony Esposito, who does all the direction and cinematography, they do great work, but they have a staggering budget. Their budget for the year, their budget for a video is about equivalent to our budget for the year on production, because Haggerty is doing it for promotion of the Haggerty name, not to make the video make money. So they do great stuff, and I look forward to watching all of it. But again, also keep in mind, our 50 years of 9/11 piece is now 13 years old.
That's what happens.
Yeah, it was 2013. So we look, I specifically look quite a bit younger, but anyway, so that happened. But anyway, we are moving on with that. Let's see. Dosico says if he spends $5,000 to make a $12,000 car good, is it still worth it? I mean, I don't know what car we're talking about, but you're talking about a really good $18,000 car. That seems okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, always
I mean,
depends on the car,
hopefully,
right?
hopefully you're not spending a full $5,000, but I can see that.
Church Petrol asks our views. How have our views changed on highly modded cars? How have they evolved? We seem to really enjoy Jordan's NC Turbo, and has it been modded out of class to a GR86? I suppose it has. I don't know that maybe you could call it an evolution of view, but Jordan didn't go full crazy huge turbo. The ones that are actually kind of pulled back
Mm.
and modded, but with reliability in mind, not
That's key.
modded
That's
just
key. Yeah.
to get the maximum amount.
Mhm.
Figure out on the
Mhm.
dyno where the engine explodes and back it off a tiny
Just
bit.
one notch.
It's designed for more than just more power. It's designed to either provide better reliability or add, a combination of things that I've always liked. But then you always introduce the price, just like we've talked about
Yeah.
with Alpha
Yeah.
4Cs. So you always introduce the price discussion.
Mhm.
It's really good, but we really like the NC chassis. But on the other hand, an argument for a GR86 could easily be made.
For sure. I mean, the thing is, are we actually adapting here and changing? I don't know that we are, because the big thing for me is if you're spending 10, 15 more $1,000 to make your car good, you really are getting into the price point of the next thing up.
Yeah.
I don't care what price point we're starting with. Once you spend 15 grand, you are in another price category above the car you bought. Is that car you're thinking about more interesting? Now, having said that, on our test drive videos channel, we are actually opening it up to driving all kinds of cars, including people's personal cars that they have tuned and that kind of stuff. But the big thing is, back to Jordan's car, we want something that is sorted. Not like,
Yeah.
I got it
Yeah.
out of the shop last week. I think you guys can drive it. Here's the things to keep in mind. That door doesn't close. By the way, you have to start it just like this.
Let me get under the hood, jiggle some things.
Jordan has
yeah.
driven that Miata cross country twice.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, this has been tuned, but this has been sorted.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's actually the
important.
kind of stuff I'm more intrigued by, because if you have a Frankenbuild that didn't go anywhere and you barely got it to cough and come across in front of our cameras, okay.
Exactly right.
Because the problem with that is it becomes unrelatable. What Jordan did, you could replicate.
That's a great point. You can make many copies of that,
And
they will all be the same and
that
run.
is still a
Yeah,
thing
that's
for me.
great.
I mean, but it's intriguing
Yeah.
for sure.
Ariel Adam, anyone said on the podcast, Griot's ad, the spot clean line. Is that spot the mini? Yes, it is. Threw that in there. I'm glad you noticed. I'm glad you're enjoying those ads. So yeah, thank you for supporting our sponsors. Griot's, Power Stop, Auto Tempest, you're shopping. We know you are. We know you're shopping. And thank you to Redstein Tires too.
Eric Pagan asks how much my son Bodie loves his Mini. So much. He likes that car so much. And is he getting good at driving manual? He's getting actually excellent at driving manual in that car. I'm going to have to start putting him back in the Elise, I think, and just kind of cross train him further. But he's
Dad
settling
says
in.
That. I got to put
It's
my son
ridiculous.
back in
It's
the
ridiculous.
Elise.
I actually picked him up at school today in the Elise. It's got the winter tires on it now, and he was making fun of me for, "Oh, good father, you brought out the winter Lotus." He was making fun of me for that, which is appropriate, fully
Nice.
appropriate. But we went home in the Elise, and he was riding right seat. And he was like, "This is such a great car," because it is a whole other thing.
It's so different.
But he
so
is
cool.
driving the Mini manual very well. We got him a really cool magnetic bumper sticker that says "Learning to Drive Stick Shift" on the back, and I have learned people are reading that, because there's that moment that I've always had of fear, that especially on a hill at a stoplight, where I'm just like, okay, the minute we start, how frustrated and impatient is the person behind us going to be? And in general, people are like, we got this, we're cool, we're good. So that's good. He's doing great, and I look forward to him driving it more.
I sketched him a little mini sketch on his birthday card.
You did. It's very cool. Yeah.
He said, "Where'd you find a birthday card with a mini sketch on it?"
Yeah. Most of us forget, you included, most of us forget how really good Paul is at drawing cars. I mean, it's just you're like, oh, so that's
it was
fun.
Level. It's actually made me want to do a lot more sketching again.
I think that's amazing.
It's been
awesome.
a while. Let's see here.
Miggy McManus says, at what point is it worth stretching your budget, say from a Fiesta ST at $10,000 to a Focus RS at $25,000? Is there merit in keeping the cheaper car insurance and maintenance? Miggy, what are you doing with it? And here's the secondary part. Watch our price of fun piece. what do you enjoy about it? Because I submit to you that depending upon your usage, you may enjoy that Fiesta ST much more than the RS. Money be damned.
There's a price of fun even at the
Yes,
low end.
there is. So what do you want it to do? That's my big question. The Fiesta ST on a back road is kind of hard to beat, and I don't know that the Focus RS would probably be faster. I doubt it'd be more fun. So
I agree.
really, what are
Yeah.
you doing there? And that's what you have to really weigh. I'm never about buy the bigger car because it's always better. I'm buy the car that suits your driving needs. And yeah, we'll see.
Lenticular 67 has no desire to mod the new car. That is a first time. That's great.
Okay.
No desire. I mean, drive it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do, okay, but yeah, drive it, enjoy it.
Well, but
We don't know what car that is, though.
we don't. Here's the thing I will say about modding, to hit it again. The other thing that happens is people have a tendency to buy a car, new or used, and mod it immediately. And you don't even know how it was stock. And I would say
That's what Chevy did with the Corvette. We built a Corvette. Let's mod it immediately.
Immediately.
And call it the ZR1X.
yeah. But I think that's a key thing. I think if you buy a new car, you have to, and if it's used, put some good tires on it. Don't just evaluate it based on whatever tires it happens to have on it from wherever for the last 10 years. So tires do go bad. So put good tires on it. And I think you need to drive whatever car is new to you for at least 6 months and then go, okay, what I want to do. And I'm talking about anything beyond aesthetic mods. Like I like to put wheels on my car.
Mhm.
You change the Toyota badges on yours and put on skid plates.
Mhm.
These don't change how it drives.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Aesthetic
Exactly.
mods are a whole different thing. But I'm talking about if you're changing driving stuff, at least give it 6 months to understand what you like, what you don't like, and what you're chasing.
Put mud flaps on.
You did. And
Doesn't
then
really
they scraped
change.
on the off-road.
They
But
did
anyway,
scrape.
yeah, it sounds terrible and you're just scraping a little piece of plastic. It's no big deal. Yeah.
Jorge, I am as obsessed as you are, I think, about the Toyota GR-GT. His question is not including the parts or engine bay. Do we remember if the Toyota GR-GT has Toyota, a badge, anywhere on the exterior or interior? And I can't recall, but keep in mind, these are still early builds and still being evaluated. I mean, it's not like there it is, final, because the car will still evolve and they might still bring something out. I think it was on I think there was dead center on the hood, Toyota badge, as I recall. Don't know that it said anywhere else, but yeah, interesting.
Kyle Anderson, 9281. He's looking at getting an Evora GT in a couple of years, but looking right now, he's found that Emiras are within $10,000 of an Evora GT. The GTs are hanging on to their value well. What reasons would we pick one or the other? I'll tell you exactly why I picked the Emira. The Emira is the nicer place to be with better build quality and better looks. And since I already have a hardcore car in the Elise, I didn't need my better car, if you will, my more expensive car, to be as hardcore as the Elise is. I already have a loud, rattly interior, doesn't matter, but my gosh, is this scalpel sharp car. That is the Elise.
Mhm,
The Emira is
mhm.
not that sharp, but I can actually say to my wife, let's do a date night in this, or let's drive cross country in this. And it's just a nice place to be. The Emira drives great when you don't want to push it. It drives well when you push it. It's good on
Mhm,
track. I like
mhm.
it on the back road.
Mhm.
But the Elise, when you're driving it to not push it, it's loud and you're working with it and you got to be involved, which is one of the things I love, but it's not very friendly to others. My wife, whoever wants to ride along, people that want to go in a group. The Elise is not really your car. So since I had hardcore, the Evora GT didn't make any sense for me and the Emira did. It's the much nicer place to be. I think it is going to have great visual longevity. I think it's going to look great forever. That's why I chose it, but it depends on your use.
Switching gears to three-point turn. Three-point turn has a watch question. I know it's not cars, but asking what watch is next on my list. I actually just came across Seiko's new root beer GMT because I'm attracted to it because it has Grand Seiko movement in it and some features of Grand Seikos that and cost less than other Grand Seikos that don't have those features. And so I'm actually really intrigued and I like the form factor. It's 44 millimeters, so it's a nice, huge, chunky watch. And I'm also a Tudor fan. So I like GMTs a lot, but the new Black Bay 68 from Tudor, that is a 43 millimeter, I believe, with the blue face. I'm really kind of digging the larger form factor on there. But I know that everybody's kind of rediscovering 39, 37 millimeter watches and just that form factor, but I've always loved a huge chunk of steel. So yeah, I'm looking at those too, but of course, it's only money, right?
Are we back? Oh, we're away from watches? Okay, we're back. Church of Petrol, let's see. Please rank the following torque monster sedans. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. E55 AMG, the W211, the Model 3 Performance, and the 535D F10. I got to look up. You sent me model numbers. Now I got to look them up.
211 E55.
I mean,
that's early 2000s,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Model
yeah.
3 Performance, 535D F10.
I mean, the Model 3 Performance is a surprisingly good car dynamically, but it has the very uninteresting, super modern aesthetic interior, which I don't find compelling. And it's a very good car dynamically that is also an appliance. The other two have got personality that the Model 3 is not going to have, but if you're wanting a modern car, that is the other thing the Model 3 brings. Because the Model 3, you're going to buy it, it's going to work in any situation, and it's going to just run, by and large. The other two, you introduce a lot of wild card elements of running those other two. And of course, in one case, you're getting a diesel. But I think personality-wise, the Model 3 loses. Usability-wise, it wins.
Okay. I have a question that is right in the sweet spot here. Tom Sen, 88, has a 718 GT4, and his wife is pregnant. Congratulations. So he's going to need a car with back seats. Will a 2025 tuned and modified Carrera T have that sports car feel, or should he go 997 turbo? Easy answer. Regular Carrera T, not tuned, not modified. New Carrera T, 991 Carrera T, as it comes. Maybe brakes, tires, but as it comes, it is such a superb car. I think you'll appreciate if you go down the road of tuning it and modding it. Well, what are you trying to do? I mean, trying to get a hotter GT sports car out of the Carrera T that was never designed to do that. That's why they make that model and sell it too. But I say Carrera T, no mods, and you will be thrilled. They're so good. 997 turbo, cool, but I think you'd really appreciate the Carrera T. And congratulations on your growing family.
That's very cool. Yeah. The one Kia, let's see. Do we always fill up test cars' gas tanks before a test drive and do specifically test different fuel levels to experience the differences in CG and weight transfer? Nope. We drive them at the gas tank amount that they have. Sometimes if we've drained them, then we'll actually fill them before we do it. But, because here's the thing. Most of the time, the cars we get for like a test drive, for the test drive channel, the solo cars, it's an SUV anyway. So there's really not much difference. If you want to think about it this way, when we're testing sports cars, like the lightweights, where it matters, keep in mind that those cars were all filled at the same time and all reviewed at the same amount of fuel burn through the day. So that equalizes it if you want to think about it that way. So yeah.
Freedom Van, thank you very much for the super chat. Any chance of Hooked on driving co-ingredients to DFW? I'm guessing in the Dallas area. Do you mean Eagles Canyon Raceway? We're looking into it, and we're looking into franchise operators, and we welcome that, and we'd love a conversation. If you or know somebody who is potentially interested in Texas region, we definitely want to do more there. And we've been to Eagles Canyon Raceway. That is the only one that I know of around the DFW area, and it's good. It's growing. There's a ton of off-road stuff. The track is really tight and technical, and a really interesting track, really pretty good. And so if you're interested, yeah, please let us know. But step by step, right? I mean, we're glad to have an incredible 2025 and have incredible operators, regional operators nationwide.
Yeah.
And they're doing some incredible track days. So if you want to be a part of that, definitely let us know.
Yeah, there's definitely an opportunity for a franchise in the northern half of Texas, well, Texas in general. Yeah. There's an ongoing conversation here that Utah is a terrible place to live. I don't agree with that, but I don't know what your Utah experience was there. So, okay, that's fine. Let's see. I'm moving on here. Man, there's a lot of great ones.
Good. I love seeing what everybody's thinking about. Yeah. Are we going to drive the new Aston Martin Vanquish from Brad K? I'd like to, but anytime we are looking at something really hot and considering something really expensive, we always run it through the filter of, will this be watched?
Mhm.
And so what we usually do is try to put together some sort of comparison that grounds a car, whether,
Mm.
if you're looking at this, why not this, or 2 or 3 cars in that arena? Because, like you and I were talking, we think the era of supercars on YouTube and watching supercar content on YouTube is kind of behind
The
us.
peak of that is behind us based on, what people are watching. The peak of that is behind us, and since we're everyday driver, so when we go off and drive a $1,000,000 car, it's not really relate to the brand of what we
I mean, do
do.
I want to drive it? Absolutely,
Of
yes.
course, but that's
Yes, I
why
want to drive the Vanquish. Yes.
price of fun is a great example. We try to ground it with something else and go, how much of the experience are you getting out of a cheaper model? And sometimes the manufacturers are okay with that conversation. Sometimes they're really, really not.
Mhm.
But we want to
Mhm.
make it relatable, because the other thing that happens a lot, especially with a lot of automotive journalists and journalism in general for cars, is you start to get this feel of, I got to drive this and you never will. And you and I don't want to bring that. I mean, we appreciate the fact we get to drive these cars at all. So if we're going to get to drive it, and some of you may never get to drive it, or in some cases never even see it, we want
Mhm.
to give it some sort of perspective so you can go, okay, so I understand how that hypercar is related to my own world. That's always important.
Let's see. Tim Kenosha 3684, as an obligatory F1 question, which of the 3 US circuits do we like the most? Which one would we replace? Haven't seen Miami, have not seen that circuit. I mean, it's right around the Hard Rock Stadium right there, and it seems fairly temporary to me. Doesn't seem like a permanent kind of installation. Of course, Coda is top of my list. It's just so good. It's so superb to drive. And yes, we definitely will put the word out when we finalize Coda for 2026. We will definitely let everyone
Yeah,
know.
big time.
And that is way up there. But I think it would have to be ongoing street circuits, because the IndyCar track, yeah, partially the infield using a little bit of the oval didn't seem to really resonate. I mean, it was okay, but I don't know that it really resonated. I feel like it was a Daytona wannabe almost. And so I'd welcome more street circuits, actually.
Down here, let's see. DAC 981 says, understands that we can't get to all car debates, but if ours hasn't been covered, is there anything we can do to make it more interesting? There is volume that we're never going to surmount. That's part of it. And then also, if it's cars we're already talking about a lot, the best examples are Miatas and
Mhm.
GR86s, or which Porsche do I buy? Those are probably not going to get covered because we've covered them at some point anyway. And so what we like is we like the little bit off kilter stuff where it's not a conversation we've had prior. Now, sometimes we end up with those cars we've talked about a lot, but the story is so completely unexpected that we talk about them anyway.
Mhm.
But there have been, I mean, again, we're 1,025 podcasts in. We've talked about all the Porsche models, the GR86, the Miata, a ton, and we've debated between those cars a ton, both on this podcast and on camera. So those are the conversations that generally we're probably not going to cover unless there's a new angle on it. So it really, these are all factors. It doesn't mean that it might just have been, we got a bunch that week and we just didn't cover yours. And I'm sorry if we didn't.
Delta ETA 625 says, what gifts are each of us buying for our cars for Christmas? I got maintenance for the GT4 all year, so that got that done. It already got its Christmas gift before the
Mhm.
big mid-year road trip, and I'm trying to figure out how to get ski racks, maybe a roof rack for the 4Runner. It
Yep.
it needs a
It
it
does.
needs a
It's
roof
the new
rack.
ski car
The
for sure.
Expedition, I could just lay
Of course you
skis
could.
just
Yes. Of course you
longitudinally
could.
in
And not
that
even touch the
thing.
back seats. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane.
but I would like to store the skis on the roof for the 4Runner, so
Have you thought about doing
need something
the
like that.
hitch rack for skis? You could do that too.
I could do that. That is
And
an
you have to put them
option.
up top. You just because you got the hitch for the bike rack anyway. Go one of those
Are those
ski
vertical?
hitch rack. Yeah,
Are they vertical,
yeah.
right?
Most of the time, yeah,
That's not a bad
yeah.
idea.
I think you could do that. Jay
Huh.
Robin is just sending us a super chat. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. He just
Yeah,
said he
thank
met
you.
us at this weekend's event and just enjoyed meeting us.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for saying something. Thanks for being at the HOD event. We loved having conversations. We had more conversations about everyday driver fans at an HOD event than we've ever had this past
Pretty
weekend.
awesome.
It was
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Let's see. If you had to drive a manual in the winter, Barbara Peterson, 6638, says, if we had to drive a manual in the winter, do you keep a regular pair of clutch-friendly shoes in the car just for driving?
Hmm.
I suppose you could, but well, it depends on the car, I guess, because if it's got a small toe box, then yeah, I mean, I guess the question to you, if you're plowing people's driveways with your Elise,
You know it.
do you
That's what
keep a
it's
pair of driving
perfectly designed for.
shoes? in the pedal box. For the most part, I never really have, although it is kind of annoying to, wear your clunky, kind of trail runner shoes and drive a manual. It works, you can get it done, but for the most part, you're not doing driving where you really need a lot of pedal feel, so it works. You can get by it.
The pedal box is tiny on the Elise, and it is difficult.
Yeah.
I actually drove it over here tonight, and it's on its winter tires. Again, the Winter Lotus, ridiculous. So I have to drive it a little more carefully in bigger shoes. I don't typically pull out the whole
You don't go
shoes.
through
I
the
don't typically do
rigmarole.
that, but I typically just drive it a whole lot more carefully because the pedals are pretty close. So I got to be careful.
Let's see. Yeah, Divina Duckworth has never tried to drive a manual with boots. It's hard.
Depends on how big your feet are and how big the pedal box is.
I've driven manual with flip-flops. That's kind of hard.
That is hard. I've driven manual barefoot, and I actually really like that, but it's a whole separate thing. That's why I really like driving shoes. The chicane shoes are awesome.
Let's see. How is the 928 doing? ASA H2225. It's doing good. The exhaust is straight piped because it's a 40-plus-year-old car.
Yes.
But it has two bungs welded in the exhaust. On one side is the O2 sensor. On the other was just a bolt. And the bolt came out. It just unscrewed itself because of all the vibrations. And so now it sounds like a NASCAR. And so the exhaust, unfortunately, exits right underneath me, under the driver's seat, and I need to replace the bolt. It sounds amazing. But of course, fumes. When I pull to a stoplight, I'm like, wait for it to turn green, get going again. So I need to just replace that. But you know what? It's on a battery tender, and she just fires right up. First try, she just fires right up. So need to give her some exercise.
Related to that, somebody asked us how often we drive the GT4 and the Emira compared to our daily drivers. Keep in mind that those cars kind of are our daily drivers. I mean, granted, you have a 4Runner, and I have two Cayennes, thanks to my wife. I have the nice Cayenne and the Ruba Cayenne. So I will say this.
If your old cowboy boots and your nice cowboy boots.
If I'm working from home and not going anywhere today except to ride a bike, then I'm going to drive the Ruba Cayenne because it's the one that has the hitch on it for the bike rack. If I'm picking up more than one other person, I take my wife's Cayenne. Mm-hmm. But if I'm driving for any reason other than those two, I generally take the Emira. I mean, it's got about 17,000 miles on it. I actually got to take it in for its second oil change in my ownership. It's got multiple track days, went back and forth to Texas, went back and forth to Utah.
It's cool.
If I'm just going to get in a car and drive it, it's going to be the Emira. Now, I will also admit that because I can't believe how much this is coming up. Because I have the Winter Lotus, I have put the Emira away because I haven't got winter tires for it. So
put the summer Emira
exactly.
away.
Summer Lotus is gone. So anyway,
that's awesome.
But though I wouldn't mind driving it in the winter either, but I've got the Elise, and the Elise is so fun. A light car is fun all the time. So that's actually really cool. So that's the crazy answer there. But there's so many good questions. Oh my gosh.
DJ Howarth 9368 has a 91 NSX manual, which he's considering selling and replacing with an LC 500, keeping in mind that the NSX isn't depreciating. He does feel that he would use the LC 500 more. What would we do? Mini car debate. Would you sell that 91 NSX manual? It sounds like it's in pretty great condition. And you're right. I think you've parked your money there, but it also sounds like you're not driving it too much. And just by virtue of you eyeballing LC 500s, you're kind of going, I wonder about that. So first step is to drive the LC 500. If you like it,
hopefully, yes,
that'll start to inform your decision. But that could also very quickly realize like, wow, I'm falling back in love with my NSX. But it also sounds like maybe you've owned it long enough where, you know what? I've had a good run. I've had my time with it, and I'm just craving something completely different. And that is okay. Only you can give yourself permission to do that, but that is no slight. You don't have to completely fall out of love with your NSX. And like you said, you could get a great price for it right now. Go get yourself an LC 500. Enjoy that. And you know what? I think there's going to be a lot more cool cars coming our way. New cars, cool GT cars, cool mid-engine cars. So I think you could do something else. I mean, I'm on my second 928. Granted, they're a lot lower price point than an NSX.
Yes.
But if you ever needed to just have an NSX back in your life, you could get one again.
True.
But I encourage you to go get more driving experience. Go do it. I say yes.
Waffleogus, who is awesome, he's down in Austin, and he helps keep our Discord running. He's one of our patrons and keeps our Discord. In fact, he was part of the reason we have a Discord, so it's very successful in that regard. Very much appreciated, man. He said, hey, Do I have any fatherly wisdom for a soon-to-be dad? Yeah, I knew the day was coming, man. That's crazy. Excited for you. Here's the one thing I'm going to tell you that I actually wish someone had said to me, but I kind of learned it by doing, and that is, well, first off, I'm going to say something controversial. That child doesn't have to be the only thing you care about the minute that it's born. For some people, that's life experience. For me, it took a while. Okay, and that's okay. That is atypical of many people, but that's okay. But the big thing I'm going to tell you is you have all of the knowledge of adulthood, and a child is going to ask you a question, and you're going to think about all of the stuff you want to tell them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm going to go real quick. If a little kid says, "Where do babies come from?" We as adults go, "I got to have the sex talk." No, you don't. No, you don't. You've gone all the way. You've gone too
Mm-hmm.
far. Just answer the exact basics of what they're asking at the most basic level and ease your way into what are you actually asking and why? Because we as parents want to bring all of our knowledge and okay, I got to download you right now. No, you don't. No, you don't. Sometimes my son would ask a simple question and I realized that the simplest answer was all he needed. He just needed a stopper
He wasn't
there.
asking all this stuff
No,
behind this.
no,
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
just the really
Mm.
simplest question. So don't go too far into the explanations. Find out what your child is actually asking and solve that.
Boondock St. Ryan is looking to book a road trip at the end of March 2026 and thinking of doing Tail of the Dragon and visiting Savannah, Georgia. Should he switch to Hedge Hollow with Hooked on Driving and do the Tail on the way home? Yeah, I think you should. And you've heard us talk about Hedge Hollow, but it's a great track, and it is the only other track that we know of in the US that has the similar digital flagging system, almost FIA standard, as Coda. I don't really know of any other track that has that level of the closed circuit cameras. There isn't a part of the track that cameras cannot see, and that digital flagging system is pretty cool. It is out there, but it is so worth it. And Lonnie and Marla do such a great job with Hooked on Driving Midwest. They're building that region like crazy, and I think you should
Yeah, it's
go
worth it.
there and increase your driving skills, get some great coaching, and then apply it on the way home. I think you would love doing that, and Hedge is a great track.
It has
I'm a little biased, I know.
It has no business being as good as it is. That's the thing about that
Really
track.
doesn't.
You hear about it and you just think, how good could this track be? Some guy built it for himself. Are you kidding? And you get there and you go, oh, it's nuts.
Well, now that HOD is there consistently,
Mhm.
it was our understanding that that owner who built the track realized that letting the track sit and then coming out for your own private track day, the track was way too dusty. It needs to be constantly used and rubbered in and just generally used. Tracks need to be
Mhm.
used to continue to be good. And so he is proud to rent that to HOD. And so I think you'd, like I said, I think you'd really, really dig it.
Asa here with a super chat that's a mini car debate. Said his parents are in need to fit an orchestral three-quarter bass sometimes in their vehicle. Good passenger space for 4 people, good safety tech, easy for older people to get into, reputation for excellent reliability is paramount. You have walked us, Asa, right into SUVs. 5-seat SUVs, because the reality is this is what they solve. They solve space, they solve passengers, and they solve actually easy to get into and out of. So you're shopping 5-seat SUVs. You haven't mentioned a budget in here. You can do things like the Mazda products, the CX-50, CX-5. Those are excellent choices. You step up into this more 7-seaters of the Telluride and Palisade. I mentioned them before. The Passport by Honda, excellent. Only 5-seater with really good backspace. That actually might work. The Passport. These aren't dynamic, but based on
Mm-hmm.
your list, that's not what you need. So I think something in that regard is excellent. There's lots of others I'm forgetting, but there's a sea of 5-seat SUVs. Go to our test drive videos channels. We've driven pretty much all of them. If they want nice and they can swing it, I've got you one. The XC60 Volvo.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah,
really good if they can go there.
like it. Let's see. Just had it. Just had it. Club Racer 6 asking if Blackhawk Farms, Audubon Country Club, Road America, or any of the tracks in Michigan, will they be coming? Will HOD be coming there? We have talked about what a great region that central area could be, from Ohio stretching up into southern Michigan right there,
Mhm.
stretching all the way to Road America. We think that could be a great region there. We're working on it. We're on our minds. We've
Yep, for sure.
identified that great area, and we think it's a could really work, and a lot of enthusiasts there. So nothing on the calendar right now, but definitely stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, another pending franchise there would be really, really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see Evan Audi here says he just bought a 1987 Porsche 944S with 127,000 miles on the clock. Drives like a dream. That's
Sweet.
fantastic. That's really good for you.
Yeah,
Go
well
ahead.
bought.
Also, somebody higher up, I read past it. I apologize for not seeing it here again, but you said you're about to leave to fly cross country to drive your new Boxster purchase home. So yes, good luck to you. I'm excited for you there. That's really cool.
Man. Let's see.
We're moving. There's lots of stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to read a ton.
Yep.
Okay, I need to update my Discord pick. All right. Mike S 982. All right. Fair enough. Lots going on for sure.
We should run Mid Ohio. We'll probably get there at some point. I like it. Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking Mid Ohio. Yeah, that'd be good.
What cars are on the most fun per dollar list? I'm going to say it to you. The GR86 is way up there. It's one of the absolute best. What you spent versus the fun you have is way up there. Of course, I've got to say Miata, always the answer. I know that that's the reality, but it's true. The problem is that the Porsche products are great, but the cost per dollar for new, I don't know that it's there based on these others that we're talking about. And those are really superb. The GR Corolla is good, but it's also expensive. That's the problem. Some of those hatchbacks are getting pricey.
From Bella B 1029, have we considered buying a car off a site like Facebook Marketplace? Sold one on Craigslist. I mean, yeah, and for us, I think for purposes of the show, for hey, we need a car that would fit some road trip or some kind of series, I think we would consider doing that. Yeah, absolutely. It would definitely add to the character, and we'd come away with our own stories about it. But sure, I mean, yeah. And you know what? People post good cars in all kinds of places.
True.
They
Yeah.
post where it makes the most sense, and they're kind of thinking, what kind of buyer do I want to reach? But that doesn't mean every car on this platform is kind of janky and no good, or all the cars over here are always good, because we've all seen the opposite is true. Cars that you think are amazing, there's been some deception going on over here
Sure,
with
yeah.
various things. And then you might find a gem over on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or somewhere else. So yeah, absolutely.
Garcia says he's got a 2019 Shelby GT350. Very cool car. Looking to add a JDM manual transmission rear-wheel drive sports car, leaning toward the 370Z Nismo. That car is a manual away from greatness. The problem is, what are they going to cost? Because the Nismo was already 70 grand and they were marking them up. That is the way you want the new Z. Oh, you said 370Z Nismo. That would be excellent. I do like that. The new Z, it should only be on the category if they really do put a manual in the Nismo. That's the only way to get the new Z, is as a Nismo with a manual if you can do it. But do not overlook that Toyota Supra on your list. The Toyota Supra manual is superb. It's maybe one of the best manual transmissions on sale today. They've really made that manual awesome. It's not like a BMW manual at all, and it's really, really good. So do not overlook that car.
Scanning here. This is good. Do we think, from Boondock St. Ryan, do we think they'll actually legalize K cars in America? And do we think there's a genuine market for them here? He's dying to buy a Honda S660 among 30 or 40 other K cars. Got a buddy who is pilot in Marine Corps. And yeah, he was stationed in Japan and had one of those. Was it an Honda Acti, I think?
Okay, all right.
And then he had the little Subaru vanlet thing.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, he really liked them. And when you get to talking about K cars, everybody's like, "Oh, I think that would be great." And you only see them like at a neighborhood, like an HOA or a ranch or something like that, puttering around.
Yeah, they're always
maintaining
a golf course somewhere. Yeah.
They were designed based on, the country of origin, the cities that where they work best. And so it'd be really weird to have a K car. We have driven our K cars, the ones we had, on the freeway.
Mhm.
They do keep up. They're plenty fine, plenty of power, but I'm just thinking, yeah, with giant open spaces that America has, I think there will always be huge cars, but I want the smaller stuff.
I do too. The problem that we have, I mean, you go to Japan where there's K cars and things are okay being K car sized. The biggest reason for the complete takeover of CUVs is because so many drivers, all you're doing is commuting, and you wind up in a smallish car, even a sedan. You wind up in a Camry behind a big truck, and you just think, I want to see more. I can't tell what's going on. All I see is
Mhm.
this guy's dually rear
So you
axle.
buy
So
something
you buy
taller.
that, and that's why
Yeah.
we wound up here. So I can't think outside of very specialty uses that most people are going to want a K car, because you're just going to be dwarfed. I'm dwarfed in the Elise, and that's a monster compared to K cars, which is crazy to say, but it's true.
Yep. Yep. Divina, thank you. Savage Geese were great guests. Yes, they were. We loved having those guys on, and it was fun to chat with them before and afterwards. And they were very gracious with their time. Pretty cool to have them on, and yeah, hear what they're doing. So yeah, we'll have to do it more. We were proud to have them as our first video guests, and
Mhm.
we will do that not frequently, I would say, but we'll definitely look into having a few more special guests on in 2026. So we definitely want to do that again. But I did like the fact that Mark ran a camera on his end,
That
gave
was
us the
very nice.
footage,
That was excellent. Yeah.
because it was nice to switch to that, and then
Mhm.
you felt you were talking right to those guys, and then
Agreed.
you switch
Yes.
back to the studio cams here.
Not
So
everybody's going to
that
do
was
that, but
cool.
that was definitely
Yeah.
their kind of thing, which for sure. Ben's asking, he says, is there another long-term, cheap and expensive car series coming up? Ben, we actually want to do more pieces and actually are planning to do more pieces like the $12,000 car piece. So that kind of stuff is coming up, where we can get lots of cars together at a price point and talk about that. Actually buying cars and doing a series on them, what we found is, I actually like that a lot. I enjoyed doing it. What we found is, when we have those cars, we drive all the rest of our cars less. But I think the audience is really only interested in 2 or 3 videos, and then the interest really falls off fast. And do we wanna buy cars and go to that hassle for 2 to 3 videos total? I mean, I feel like we've reached a place where the videos that get watched are, "I bought it, and it broke, and I'm selling it." Those 3 videos and you're done.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I struggle with doing another one, because I'm not sure that there's enough audience there for it. Having said that, the idea of doing one another multiple of these comparison pieces at a certain price point is very exciting, and I like the ability that you guys do show up when we actually bring out our own personal cars,
Yeah.
maybe twice a year, and update them. That's cool.
Oh man, it's scrolling.
It's lots of
This
stuff.
is
It's great.
cool. All right, I got a sob question.
Uh-oh. Do we
Uh,
need to call your brother-in-law?
I just might need to
Okay.
call Daniel. Near Mitt 2034 says, Paul, a fellow Saab owner, has my brother in law, Daniel, ever gone to the annual Saab Owners Convention? He and I should come out this year. It will be held in Huntsville, Alabama. I will plant the seed because I will be with my family for Christmas, and I will plant the seed. But he is really in the community worldwide, but also uh, up in the Seattle area. And so my sister actually suggested that we should redo our family sob photo that we did a few years ago, where
Oh my
the whole
gosh.
family
Everybody
was
was in
like,
and around the Saab. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
hanging
great. It
around
was really good.
one of the sobs. So
There's so many. That's a collection. And for a
mm,
non-car person to have a collection of Saabs is quite a thing, I have to say.
he's
He's actually
known
just
in
a
the
Saab
neighborhood.
person. But
That's
anyway,
right. There's amazing amount of sobs in the neighborhood. I'm driving through 'em, like, you see them in people's
oh
garages
my
that are
gosh.
open.
All
Like
right. Well, they've found the pocket of Saab
they,
ownership, apparently.
uh,
Apollo Andretti says he's been thinking of getting a 981, that is a Boxer generation, one back, GT4, but sorry, Cayman generation, Box generation, but would need to sell his rare stock S2000 Club Racer with only 30,000 miles. Would we keep the S2000? So this is the GT4 before your generation. Should he sell the Club Racer version, the CR version of the S2000 to get that car? I'm curious of your usage. I do have to say, look, I love the S2000. The S2000 is also frozen in time. While it does drive well,
yeah.
it doesn't drive at a level that hasn't been surpassed. You can get in other cars and they feel some of the CR version is very cool. You're probably going to get really good money for that. I'm curious why specifically the 981 GT4. Did you land on that for budget? Are you planning on it to be a track car? What's your usage? I what I sense here is, we joke about this all the time. If you're thinking of selling the S2000, you're okay to be done with it.
Yeah.
If you were
Yeah.
saying, I absolutely don't ever want to sell this car, but what about this? We'd have a different conversation. But you are considering it. And I don't get the sense here from you that you believe it should be a car in your garage forever. Would we keep it? Sure, if we could. Of course we could. But I feel like this might be the car that's keeping you from moving on And if you need the 981 GT4, you're going to have track use for it. Here's the thing: I wouldn't buy the 981 GT4 as just a daily.
Mm.
I think at that point, may as well just daily the S2000. It's more interesting. It's more unique. It's going to be a perfectly good daily. It's also a good track car. But if you're looking for a more updated track car, 981 GT4 is pretty awesome.
See, Miggy has got another question here. Miggy's gone through 6 cars in the last 2 years. How do you do drive homework better to enjoy a car long term? Life changes happen. What you're looking for and your driving experience changes. And that's what happened with Todd and I. When we started really doing a lot of performance driving, our taste and what we wanted out of a car really came to the forefront. I mean, we both really like lightweight cars. Todd likes the ultra lightweight cars
Yes, I
even
do.
more,
Yeah.
but the kind of feel that we're looking for and the kind of usage that we want. And just give yourself permission to know that things are going to change. Your life's going to change. Your tastes are going to change throughout. So it's not like the long term, I've got to have this, forever kind of thinking. But 6 cars in the last 2 years. That's quite a bit of turnover. I mean, just the registration costs alone, the tax, title, and license alone. I'm wondering if have you really sat down to think about what do I want, and do you have space for 2? Or are you trying to make one car do everything so much, and there isn't one that does it all for you? And so, do you need to split the budget and start thinking broader? Just a thought.
Got a question about, did we enjoy Golden Gate Canyon Road? I'm guessing you're talking about Colorado. We've driven a lot of the roads in Colorado. That's it. Which one exactly do you mean there? I'm not exactly sure I'm following which road you mean, but Colorado's got some great roads in central south, just south of Estes Park. Has got great stuff, and I actually love the stuff in western edge of Colorado the most. There's still many roads we have not done worldwide. We're working on them. We're checking them off, but we're not going to get to all of them, I don't think.
Worldwide roads, yes.
Yeah, there's so many, man.
Yeah, there's good stuff.
You thought the mini video was a great one and one of your favorites of the year. Thanks for that. I mean, that's what happens when I bring my whole family along. They don't restrict themselves much. There was a lot of great conversation in that piece. It was very
funny. They let loose. It was pretty funny.
How come Honda, this is Tim writing in, how come Honda doesn't try to compete with the Miata and GR86 market with an S2000 successor? We're all wondering that. Yes, the market is too small. The S2000 was a bespoke chassis. It's hard to make that make sense. Let's be honest. The Prelude's coming out because it is using parts from elsewhere. Okay? That's the reality. They're able to use parts from elsewhere. And I find it fascinating. You and I on the Prelude have delayed hating it, for lack of a better way to put it. Okay? And I say that because
inevitable.
I say that because everyone else seems to just be like, well, that's dead on arrival. I'm like, well, but nobody's driven it yet. Nobody's compared it to anything.
Yeah, a handful of people have. But
and yeah, for sure. I want to drive it. I'm very
driven.
curious about it. I hope it's good. But the thing that's come up, it's actually even come up in these questions, that it's an 86 competitor. But it's not. In my mind, it's actually a Prius competitor. You're wanting a good-looking daily hybrid. And if you have interest in the car actually driving halfway decent, that's who you're competing against. Now the loaded Prius, we talked about this before, loaded Prius is high 40s. I mean, is right about, like, loaded is right at 40, and the Prelude starting in the 40s, and it's going to get markup. It's already talking about markup. So that's the problem, is the price point. But I don't think it's an 86 competitor. I would love for Honda to do one, but I just don't know if they can make the numbers make sense.
Let's see, Race 315. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Have a car you're happy with. Race bought a Camry TRD in 2020. He's happy 5 years later as when he drove it home. He absolutely loves it. That's cool. That's really cool to hear. That GTS Camry from SEMA.
I don't understand what we're doing there, but okay.
More of that. Like, let's make it hot. Like Camry suddenly being associated with hotness. Yes.
Paul, now that you have a 718 GT4, have you reached your peak attainable Porsche, or do you still want a 911?
Yes.
If you could rewrite your Porsche history, what Porsche would you be driving today? A different Porsche timeline for you. What would that be?
If I could rewrite, that includes Caymans, and I love Caymans, and Caymans have really dictated what my sense, what I'm looking for in my track driving, street driving. It's really influenced that quite heavily. So are you saying that I couldn't choose? I'd have to choose something else?
They're just asking about an alternative timeline. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Alternative timeline. I mean, I maybe would have just tried to ignore every other Porsche model and just gone for, say, a 3.2 Carrera, which would, gosh, when I bought my first 928, those were affordable-ish. Kinda.
Church of Petrol, we did not drive Jordan's car in Colorado. He was with us in Utah. We did not drive Golden Gate Canyon in Jordan's Miata. That was a road called Cascade Springs in our area. So thanks for clarifying, but that was not where we drove it. I appreciate that you thought it was that, but we happened to nail one of our favorite roads. It's actually the same road, same weekend we drove for the $12,000 cars piece. That's a road near us that is fantastic. We happened to hit it like peak leaves. Which is why when we came around the corner, we cut one of them out. We cut the worst one out. We came around the corner and there was a guy parked there during the $12,000 car piece because people were just coming around blind corners and stopping and going, "Oh, that's pretty." It was scary. But yeah, that was where that was.
Let's see.
Wow. Such great stuff. Thank you guys. Oh, Bring Back Buttons is the actual name. Bring Back Buttons is asking about buttons. Will there be a demand in the future for certain cars to de-screen or analog convert, like a Singer-style redesign for cars where they go back to screens? What would be the first cars that come to mind that would work? Well, you've kind of backed us into that, and the point I'm making here is I could see a world where somebody has money and takes a car they love, but all the tech is outdated, and they go, get rid of all the tech. Let's make new internal panels and give me just what I need. Because I've seen that happen with builds and with old cars, and it's like we were in a E-Type once where they changed all the switches, and the switches did new things now, but the switches were still there. I could see somebody doing personal builds that way, starting any time now. Like set the clock. The clock is ticking. It's going to happen. An actual business to standardize it, I think it would be really hard because I don't know that you're going to get enough monetary return on making panels that replace that. I'll give you an example. The weird one that happened for the Ferraris of the 2000s, 90s and 2000s. There were people making new buttons because the original buttons had that tacky, sticky, rubberized stuff on them.
Yeah,
so
businesses.
Everybody wanted to have new buttons, and so they made them. I don't know that there's going to be a standard desire for that to make it make sense, but I do think people are going to start retrofitting cars they liked where the tech is so outdated. Can we remove the tech, make me a new dash? I think about how now, you remember the double hump E90, E92 BMWs? The ones with the single hump because they had no nav screen.
On the IP here? Yeah, that was weird.
The single hump ones are actually worth a little bit more money, and they're super rare.
Because
that's
an example. So much better, yeah.
But who's going to pay for that? Yeah.
Did we cover Jeremy's question about the Prelude again? Did I miss that?
I don't know that we covered it well enough.
Jeremy, thank you so much for writing. Jeremy's main question with the Prelude is why buy it over a Civic Hybrid or a Civic Si, depending on the buyer or target demographic. It's $10,000 over either. Yes, the best insight that I've got is from my friend who works at Honda. And my understanding is that Honda really goes after the demographic like you've suggested, because these other two cars might not even know they exist. I mean, they do, but they're not on that buyer's radar. They are not interested. They're not even considering that. Si, no, I don't want, manual or something sporty. Civic Si, I want a two-door. I want a coupe. I want it a little bit more personal feeling. And I feel like car companies are going to have to continue really doing that rather than making the shotgun approach, the broad approach to, hey, a bunch of people will buy this and do whatever they want. They're going to have to really kind of do the BMW thing. And Honda here is going after a very particular buyer. And it seems like they're not worried about not selling all the Preludes in the world, just tons and tons and tons of Preludes. They're not really concerned about selling tons of them, but to that specific buyer, to bring them into the Honda fold, it seems like the car that could do that for a particular buyer. And I bet you there's more than not.
I'm really curious about it. And I hate to say this, but we've already seen the postings. I'm sure you have as well, where a dealer has taken it and marked up $15,000 worth of stuff on it. And it's a $60,000 Prelude.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is doing that and making them not sell. And so Honda goes, see what happens when we lean into an enthusiast car? That's what I'm worried about. And it isn't really an enthusiast car. It's the enthusiast Prius. But when we drove the Civic Hybrid and we actually praised it because that chassis is really good, you asked for essentially what they're building in the Prelude. You were like, let's take this and make a better suspension and this kind of stuff, better tires, and it would be interesting. That's what they've done. I'm not sure who the buyer is, but I do think the buyer is a commuter first. And so that's what'll be interesting. We talk about that car a lot for having never driven it yet. Anyway, that's going to come back around. There's going to be some cool comparisons.
And Honda's going, great. Talk about our car.
Of course they are. Yes. Bring Back Buttons is back again. When do we feel cars become more dangerous? There's a trend in his questions, by the way. Oh, too much tech doing the steering or older cars than antiquated designs, far less safety to protect you. When did we feel they became more dangerous? I think the 90s, 2000s, actually the early 2000s, airbag tech was pretty good, and we weren't having self-driving much yet. That's a nice place where it was kind of doing all of the above, but you can turn off most of the automatic steering stuff. There's stuff like auto brake and that kind of thing. Auto brake really hates how close we get cars together when we want to film. They hates it, really hates that. We've had cars auto brake on us before. The problem is, as we have cars do more for us, we lose the skill to understand how to move the car ourselves. I think people are potentially not as good drivers because of all the safety systems, but that's just where we are.
You are for, and a lot of letters after that. Thanks for all the great work. Thank you for writing. Really appreciate it. We've helped him buy a couple of cars that are absolutely loved. The question is, with early to mid 2000s cars being so good, why fork out the cash for brand new ones? Certainly warranty, certainly power, certainly features that those old 2000s cars just don't have. Certainly the mystery and scariness of maintenance and what's going to fail and the parts availability for those cars. I mean, not just general maintenance, but what if a screen fails or a major part, a major component that is not as readily available? Drivetrain components, mechanical stuff usually is, but what about some major kind of thing? That's always a mystery. Some buyers embrace that. Other people are going, I'd rather have a new car, warranty, and it's new tech, but then there's no guarantee there either. But yeah, again, what are you looking for? That kind of old analog visceral feel? Do you want something with a lot of features? By the way, I just have to say, there was a Cadillac CT5 Blackwing, the Blackwing,
yes,
at our recent Thunderhill event. That thing is cool looking.
Looks amazing, sounds amazing.
Huge.
Yeah.
But it has presence. It was blacked out windows, black wheels. It was just sinister, and it was sitting right, and it just looked really good. It was just, I want to drive the CT5 now.
Easton was there for his first ever track day. His girlfriend got him a track day with Hooked on Driving, and he had an amazing time. I loved seeing that car out there. We've had the Cadillac V Club join a lot of our Hooked on Driving events. We love that. That's really cool. The Mr. Cern says, getting married, buying his first house, and starting a family soon. Needs one dad car to rule them all with a $50,000 budget. I'm going to stop you right there. Hang on. Starting a family soon. I hate to bring biology into the discussion, but you're at least 9 months away from needing this car. Okay, you're
enter the chat.
And what other cars do you have in your life? You're years away from needing one that has legitimate back seats. Why are we buying this car now? But I'm still going to answer your question. $50,000 budget, 4 seats, rear wheel drive, not a CUV. The CT4V Blackwing, the Giulia Quadrifoglio, which I love, or something else. You've got to throw the BMWs in there. You have to drive the M3 in spite of the beaver teeth. You have to drive it. It's very good. You know what you should do? You should drive. It's not rear wheel drive. You should drive the Integra Type S and the Honda Civic Type R.
That's good. Yeah.
And see if they surprise you, because those are manual transmission back into the discussion, which is wonderful. I love the Giulia. That's not a surprise to anybody, so it's definitely on the list. And depending upon your usage, yes, you should drive the Ioniq 5N. It's an SUV, but it's a very good one. And you should drive the Model 3 Performance. I think you should drive those at least and consider them.
Got a question here from Ray Lowe. Ray, great to meet you this weekend, man. Thank you for jumping on. Really appreciate your question. Ray's asking if the current wave of MR2 rumors feels more legitimate than the usual biennial circulation of MR2 information. He's not quite done with BRZ, but wondering if a new MR2 would be a better follow-up than a Supra or a GT4. You want a GT4, you just Right. But you know what? That
MR2 would be cool.
MR2, if they do it, that is the Cayman that Porsche is pivoting to build.
Okay. All right.
By pivoting, well, I guess the EV version of the next Cayman will still be coming out apparently,
We'll see.
but
Yeah.
the one that they're pivoting to include the ICE version of it, then I think the MR2 could be sweet because, then GRMN or the GRMR2, whatever they're going to call it.
They're
What a
apparently like reserving tons of names for it all
yeah,
over the world. I hope it is a
sweet,
thing. I really do. Yeah.
sweet car. They could really be leaders in that affordable mid-engine category.
Well, there's a
too.
gap in the lineup there, and with this new GR-GT that's going to be super expensive, where's the affordable other Toyota performance car? I mean, look, they
Yeah.
are starting to stack the deck like Ford did in the early 2000s. Toyota's about to have one at every price point, which is really cool. Edward says, loves the show and podcast. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. He says, I should have kept my 300ZX twin turbo. Yes, I should have. I would love to still have this car, but I mean, money's a thing, man. Budget's a thing. So I moved on in that regard. If money were no object, I would buy that car back from the current owner. If he ever sells it, he's supposed to call me first. I know Rob knows that.
He knows that.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I would love to still have it, but I probably wouldn't be driving it much. And I hate to have a car I'm not driving, but man, it was great.
Man, more good stuff. Thank you guys for the questions as always.
Oh, by the way, the added to the Mr. CERN was the Chevy SS. I do like that. Of course, that's a great one. I normally bring that up, and I thank you for reminding me of it. That's an excellent one there.
Jeremy, Jeremy's saying that he doesn't think there's enough space for another Toyota sports car under the 80 to 100,000 mark. Then what about the 4Runner and the Land Cruiser?
Fair point. Well, but
they
those are going to
step on
sell
each other constantly
all over the place. But those are going to sell a lot
because of the names.
Yeah, fair.
So MR2 is the name, and it doesn't matter. Supra is the name. They can step on each other all day long. 4Runner and Land Cruiser proving that.
I also wonder if the MR2, I hate to say this, is going to be priced above the Supra and below the GR-GT. So GR86.
That high?
GR86, Supra, MR2, GR-GT. I wonder if it's going to be a $70,000, $80,000 car. I really do wonder if that's what would happen. We'll see. I don't know.
Yes, Asa, I did. Somebody explained that to me just this weekend, the Doug DeMuro Cayman GT4 Nexus theory. If you haven't seen that, it's worth a watch. It is the what is it? The nebulous, the Nexus for everything that is sports cars. I did hear that, and I'm in agreement. So it's good.
We've got so much. We're probably going to close it down here fairly soon, but you guys have been bombarding us with great questions tonight. I do love it. Let's see. We've got more still coming in. What car would we love to own that others would be surprised? I bring it up. I've mentioned it before. I don't have any reason for a Ram TRX. I'm not a truck guy, but I would own a Ram TRX. It's ridiculous. I also have toyed with the idea, and I haven't driven one, and we're going to in the future, of owning a Isuzu Via-Cross, but I'm actually not sure that my wife would let me in the house if I showed up with a Isuzu Via-Cross. She finds them so abhorrent, I think she might change the locks, but I think they're funny. So anyway, there's that.
I had a funny encounter with that recent Hyundai Santa Cruz that we had. My neighbor said it looked like an inflated brat.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
She's not wrong.
That's true. Let's see. What else are we going to run through here real quick?
What's a car that I would love to drive? I mean, I'm currently in a CT5V Blackwing mode.
Okay.
That's current.
I love it. That's good.
It's
good stuff.
Low and it's just cool looking.
There's some cool comparisons coming this next year. We're very excited about that. Yeah. The 1K says, answering, since you got a watch question, he's giving me a film question.
All right.
Which high definition media print of Lord of the Rings is the one that I think is the closest to the theatrical prints I worked on in the early 2000s? The reality is that a digital projection doesn't look like film with a bulb behind it. It doesn't. It actually typically looks more balanced, edge to edge on the screen. I'm going geeky, but edge to edge on the screen, it looks more balanced, and it also typically is brighter. The sharpness is accomplished by pixels and the definition of the projector. So lots of things. Be very hard to do it. What you'd have to do here, I'm going to be really geeky. You'd have to figure out somebody that's doing an original negative print screening. I don't even know if they're doing those anymore.
Mm.
Those are the masters, and those are really cool, but I can't imagine those are going to be aired or screened anytime soon. But having said that, what I do like about digital projection across the board is you can go into your small local hometown theater or the biggest megaplex in the biggest city, and the projection quality is pretty similar. With Prince, it was all over the map. And very often it was like a little hotspot. This is how geeky I was during Lord of the Rings. I went home for Christmas and my parents went with me. We went and watched Twin Towers, okay, the two towers. And we went and watched that. And I was so annoyed by the quality of the projection. I went out to the lobby and told them how to fix it.
You did?
I did. I was like, I cannot stand this. And I know what happens. It's not like I'm missing it in the movie.
Excuse me.
It's out there is like, guys, here's what's wrong. This bulb needs to be fixed and you need to change this. And they changed it a tiny bit over the course of the screening. But the fact that we're in digital projection makes it much more even.
Good question from Chrono or Chiron151. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Fellow Nordschleife driver here. What personal driving goals do we both set for ourselves each year when we take our annual trip to the spa and the ring? For the ring, it's memorization. It is connecting corners. It is through lines and continuing to refine the corners. I feel confident with quite a few corners on the ring now. There's some that I just need to work on. The latter third, when I exit the carousel and I'm headed up the hill, that section right
up
there,
the whole Octon around,
whole Octon, up to the top,
Dipperman and
exactly right.
YouTube corner.
There's always like, oh yes, because my brain has gotten to carousel and I've clicked things through, and then I'm okay. Reset my brain.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't have some device in my head to reset as I'm doing carousel and then move on up. But it's not always necessarily speed. I think it's fluidity, because we know smooth is fast. So it's working the corners, and I just want to remember things about corners. And same thing with spa. I love spa so much, but I want to always work on Eau Rouge. That is so thrilling, daunting, satisfying. Such a thing. It's such a crazy cool thing.
This is a great question, actually, because it makes me realize there are two goals I've never actually publicly stated, but I'm going to state them now, that I actually have started to have the last couple of years when we go back and drive the ring. And the ring is my favorite track in the world to this point. So I love a good canyon road, and so the ring is like that. So I love it. I like to get as many people as I can riding right seat with me. And I will talk through the lap, what I'm using as reference as I drive the lap. I'll call out my reference. And what I love is when somebody riding right seat finds a reference out of my reference points that they connect with and they're able to use going forward. I love that so much. I also really like, because I love driving it, but I also really like riding right seat and instructing. And I'm not a guy that really seeks out instructing, but something about the ring, it just speaks to me. And I like riding right seat and talking people through the lap, because there's so much going on and it gets so overwhelming. And I've kind of gotten it into my brain now. And I just like sharing that experience with people so much. I'll go out in the ring by myself. I'll drive the sim on the ring like crazy. I love it. I enjoy it. But there's something about that shared experience that's really, really fun. Come on our trip, because the pilgrimage trip's amazing.
Agreed. Man, it keeps coming. Thank you all. Really appreciate it. Oh man. Yeah. We're teasing you. We continue to tease you and actually invite you on our future trips. 2026 is really turning out pretty awesome. We're really excited. I mean, for the stuff that we have planned, our heads are already in 2026. We've got a great calendar of dates nationwide, hookedondriving.com, everywhere, all the regions. We've got the pre-grid pass currently on sale until January 15th, 2026. And then, we've got some great plans for the pilgrimage trip. That's probably going to be later in the year, but it's going to be really awesome. If you've been thinking about it, if you've heard us for now just over a decade talk about the pilgrimage trip, definitely come with us. It's just so interesting and fun. And as my dad always says, you always learn something whenever you go on trips like this. Whenever you go out, you always learn stuff. So we would definitely want you on trips with us.
Davina, I'm calling you out. Davina Duckworth says, love to see Mazda put their new 3.3 liter inline 6 turbo engine in something sporty. Absolutely. Where is that straight 6 in something sporty? And that should be the engine in that Ioniq SP thing, tease of the next rotary, just put the straight 6 in it.
Just build it
Just
already.
put the straight 6
yes.
and let's all enjoy it. I know the rotary is your science project, but we need to move on. And that engine's just begging to be in a sports car. I totally agree with that. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being with us on all these questions. This is really, really wonderful stuff. Sorry about the backup camera, but we're glad to be with you anyway.
Yeah.
We will solve that for the next live. It's a whole other thing, but we will be back in studio with our normal studio things next week. We're going to close out the year strong with our last podcast of the year coming out Christmas week. Then we're going to skip the week after Christmas, the very last week of the year. So we're going to do kind of a retrospective and what's coming up in the year ahead on our next podcast. But thank you guys, as always, for the questions, for being here. And please visit our sponsors because they support this show and make it awesome. If you want to be more embedded, that is where Patreon is to your value. The Discord channel is amazing. The number of friendships that have come out of that are fantastic. Tons of great track days, yes, but also adventures coming up with us in the next year, and we couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, for really sure. Cool. Merry Christmas, you guys. And yeah, join us one more podcast episode before we take the break for the holidays, and looking forward to the new year. It's going to be so good. We're really excited. So we keep talking about how excited we are about 2026.
So. Yep, for sure.
Thank you as always. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to next time as always. Cheers, everyone.
Weird things are happening.
Here we go.